Alright, so I'm Hazel Faith Lacang, a graduate of John B. Lacson, and I graduated as magna cum laude during my year, and I was also Miss JBLCF Bacolod. So after graduation, I moved to the UAE. I worked there for 7 years, and this end of March I resigned, and then I moved back home.
Actually, if I'm going to identify myself, I do consider myself as a gay, an overt. When we say overt, I'm not afraid to show. I am out loud, and at the same time, I always speak of my personalities.
Before, in my college years, I used to identify myself as bisexual. And then later on, because gender is very fluid, and I was able to explore myself, my identity, my orientation, and now I identify as a cis femme lesbian.
You mentioned that you work in Abu Dhabi, right?
Yes.
How is it working there as an LGBT?
Being an LGBT in Abu Dhabi, it's like a gray area. It's not like Saudi or Kuwait or Bahrain where you will get really persecuted. It's like you can hold hands in public as two girls, but people will just think that you are best friends. But as a gay guy, if you cross dress, or if you're trans and if you cross dress, there are a lot of instances where these people were gotten in jail. Yes. So being a lesbian, as long as you're straight passing, for them you're okay. But if you are a lesbian and you're butch, it's like it's something that they frown upon. Yeah.
Why do you think it's important to identify sexually the LGBTQ community? What's the importance of not mislabeling someone who is in the community?
I think it's important to be properly identified with whatever sexual orientation that you came out with, because for instance, with me, sometimes people or my friends mislabel me, and they introduce me as bisexual. And being a lesbian woman, sometimes if they introduce me to someone and say I'm bisexual, men would think that they have a chance on me. And as a lesbian, I don't like this kind of attention from men, and I don't want to go through that awkward conversation and say I'm sorry, but I'm not into guys, and then I have to explain myself again why I don't like guys, because when you tell a man that you're not into them, their ego gets hurt. So I think it's better for people to be identified with proper labels.
When and how did you come out?
I first came out when I was in college, as I said, and at first it was I came out in a group chat that I created on Facebook. I put all of my closest college friends, and I was typing a very long message. It was during this time when Charisse Pempenko came out, not as a trans yet. She came out first as a lesbian, and I think it was very timely and relevant that I should come out during that time, because they were kind of making fun of Charisse that time. So as a person who was not out, and them making fun of someone from my community, it kind of hurt my feelings. What if I come out to them and they make fun of me? So I made a group chat, and I put all of my closest college friends, and I was typing a very long message, and I wasn't done yet, and then I pressed enter, and then everyone was reading the group chat, and I was still typing another long paragraph, and they were already responding like, "Oh my God, basi may crush ka sa akon, Hazel," like that. So that's how I came out. And then when I moved to Abu Dhabi, I realized it's since it's a new place, new beginnings. No one knows me there. That I was this, I was that. You know, I can start anew, very fresh, and I will no hidings, no lyings, and be like, here I am. I'm not straight.
What can you say to those who are still afraid to come out of the closet? Do you think it's important for them to come out of the closet?
For me, it is important to come out of the closet, but only do it when it's safe to do so, because we are not, all of us are not from the same background. Some people, it's dangerous for them to come out because probably they have abusive families, or probably they're coming from a high ranking position in the society, and it's dangerous for them to come out or what. But yes, come out when you are safe to do so, and come out when you're ready. No pressure.
In adherence to coming out, can you explain the importance of not outing someone?
I think as members of LGBT, and also even if you're not a member of LGBT, we shouldn't out our friends, because I was in this situation before where I accidentally outed my friend, and I didn't think that it was dangerous to do so. It just came out, because she was she's Middle Eastern, and she's coming from a conservative background. And another friend of mine who's also Middle Eastern, who's also a queer girl, asked me like, "Oh, is your friend not straight?" So, like, the naive that I am, I thought that it was okay to say, yeah, she's not straight. And then eventually I told her, and she got really angry. She said, "Hazel, you're not supposed to tell other people. Like, that is my story to tell." And that is when I realized that I did something wrong. And even though they're out or they're not, we're not supposed to tell other people, or we're not supposed to out other people.
What can you say to the people who still discriminates us, or who thinks that we are less than them?
I think, because even though how much we educate them, if they are still narrow-minded, we cannot, nothing that we say is ever gonna be right for them. I guess I'm just going to pray for them.
Like,
Like, what else can I do?
since this is Pride Month, why do you think Pride Month is important to us, members of the LGBTQ plus?
I think Pride Month is important to acknowledge the sacrifices of the previous generation of LGBT members in the society. Like our generation, we're kind of privileged that when we came out, or when we were born into this world and realized that we're not straight, there were already like a few rights dedicated to us, you know. But in their generation, it wasn't like that. And I think Pride Month is to acknowledge the hardships that all LGBT people have experienced from the past generation to our generation, and you know, so that we could celebrate what we really are.
Do you think that we have work to do? We still have work to do?
I think we still have a long way to go, especially here in the Philippines. If Soji Bill hasn't been passed, it means that we really have a long way to go as a country. You know, like whenever this thing come up in the Senate, a lot of Senate officials, I mean also the Congress, are opposing our rights. And for me, it's just, you know, our right to exist, our right to be there when your partner is sick, you know, our right to divide a property equally. So we still have a very long way to go as a country.
What's your message to everyone, especially to the LGBT community in this Pride Month?
My message to them is to be unapologetic. Be who you are. If you're not out of the closet, we will get there. And if you can find queer communities, if you're not safe to out, you can always find someone who's LGBT, and you know, they could be there for you. Yeah, and we are here for everyone, and love is love.
Thank you very much for gracing us with your
You're welcome.
presence.